Hello. Welcome everybody
everyone.
to Space with Audra. And thank you, Chrissy, as always. Normally we have a guest with us today, but we've had some technical difficulties today with our guest. So we're going to reschedule him. He's amazing, and he's from India, and so our time differences are quite significant. But it gives us the opportunity for Chrissy and I just to have a chat. How you doing?
I'm good. It's one of those days where it's like, what day is it in the week? And is the week almost over with?
I'm in complete agreement. I feel like there are those weeks or sometimes those days that you're just like, I have to look at my calendar. Like, I have no idea what today is and what am I supposed to be doing. Generally, it's around the time that I have to get dressed because I'm like, what am I supposed to put on today?
Well, I rely heavily on my calendar. Like, the first thing I look at when I wake up in the morning is my calendar. And that's how I live.
And I was actually having this conversation with a coaching client of mine the other day, and yesterday actually, I'm like, so how do you keep track of like where you're supposed to be next? And she's like, I just write things down on sticky notes. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't going to work. You cannot scale a business on sticky notes. Yeah. So we're getting her used to her Google Calendar with reminders. Wait, you're silent.
That was totally me before I got super busy, and I was like, nope, can't do that anymore. My mind used to be a sponge where I can just know when I had to be somewhere at some place, and now it's like there's no way.
No way.
Mm-mm. Well, I also want to encourage everyone to share your comments and questions with us today, because we're going to be talking about a super cool podcast. So go ahead and start with that, Audra.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, we should start a podcast. And so we kind of got like halfway there, but then kind of ran into all of the launching, recording, editing, blah, 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 blah. What do we talk about kind of thing? And so it just never kind of came to fruition. And then I had the opportunity earlier this year. I was sitting down with a fellow coach of mine, and you guys have all met her, and you must love her. Her name is Margaret Rose Cox. And so we were sitting down having a conversation, and she's like, well, I was thinking about starting one with a friend of mine. And I was like, yeah, I've kind of gone through that. Do you want to start one together? And she was like, well, I don't know. I got to, and finally we just decided, yes, let's do this. So we both have ADD and we're coaches, and we like to talk about coaching. And a lot of people think it's really scary, and you got to like pull all of your skeletons out of the closet and like bury your soul or something. And we're like, this has to be presented more lighthearted. And so it's called the Goldfish Effect. And yes, we know it's with an A. It is coaching conversations over cocktails. And so we take real coaching theory, coaching ideas, frequently asked questions, and we turn them into a 30-minute podcast where we are destined to lose our track of what we're talking about and go off on some tangent out in left field, and reel ourselves back in and do a lot of laughing, but a lot of real coaching talk. It's fun. It's so fun. It's so funny. She's so funny. I'm like super serious sometimes, and she's like, no, that's not where we're going today. And so thank you, Chrissy, for bringing up. This is our Facebook page called the Goldfish Effect Podcast. You can find audiograms, which is like a short snippet, 15 seconds of something that we're talking about, as well as it gives you the topic of that particular episode. So find us there and follow us. We're also on Instagram, and our podcast comes out every Thursday, a new topic, new coaching topic. What would you like to hear? If we were going to have two coaches sit in a room and chat about a topic, what would you like to hear about, Chrissy? You run a business, or two, or three.
I would like to hear about certainly the art of delegation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I would certainly listen to that all day, every day.
Okay. That's a really good one. Any life ones or mindset ones that you would think of? We've done, I know that, speaking back to the calendar thing, we did one about, or it should be coming up in the future, about creating good habits. And then we wanted to do one on time management. But is there anything in particular that, you guys out there in the audience, what do you struggle with running your business or managing your life or creating boundaries or anything like that that you would like to hear about? That she and I could do a whole 30-minute segment on that particular topic, because then it's always there, right? You can come back to it.
Absolutely. Well, I know that for me, like right now is probably, what would you do as a business owner to set time aside for yourself, and how to negotiate that with yourself?
I'm writing that down.
Major, because I feel like as a business owner, I'm working all the time.
That is a tough one. We have this internal dilemma between go, 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 and end up being overwhelmed, strung out, and stressed out. And it's about really seeing that time aside as a priority and making sure that you work that into your calendar, because you need to recuperate. Business owners are challenging themselves, pushing themselves farther and farther every day, often outside of your comfort zone, which is, there's a whole lot of internal dialogue that happens with that. So we need to make time to recoup and de-stress and decompress, recenter ourselves before we start pushing that line again and again and again and again. So that's a good topic. I like that one. Delegation it has a couple of things under that one: maintaining or creating or defining expectations and values and things like that. I think that we'd get a kick out of both of those. We do laugh a lot. We do have cocktails. That's for sure as well. Because you may listen to it at 9 o'clock in the morning, but we're recording it at 9 o'clock at night.
Should we play this one that is up here?
Absolutely. So this one is on abundance versus scarcity, about mindset.
Okay, I'm going to mute us so we can hear it, okay?
And scarcity could have stopped us all along the way.
Every step.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties. We can't seem to get together this week and do the podcast. What are we going to talk about? What do people want to listen to?
I'm too tired. Seriously.
Even though those things sound like stupid comments, they're roadblocks that could potentially turn into sabotage moments. Yeah. But if you live in the abundance mindset where anything and everything is possible and anything and everything has the possibility of being successful because there's unlimited resources that are out there for the taking, right?
If you have an idea inside of you, you are fully resourced to bring that idea to fruition.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I like how you guys are just keeping it real. Like, we don't care to do this right now.
Oh yeah, real. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have sometimes people in our environment sugarcoat things, and we're not those types of people. And we're going to resonate with some people and not resonate with other people, but that truth-based authenticity is how we coach. And so that's also how we live and while we're friends. So you can find the Goldfish Effect on Instagram. We have also follow us on Instagram, but we're on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere.
What's this next one?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know how. I'm hearing myself, and it's really screwing me up today. So anywhere you find the podcast is where you can find us.
So what's this one right here? The abundance of your life is a belief. So on Facebook, you can follow the Goldfish Effect to get the teasers of the podcast?
Yes,
Is
it's
that
called
how
an
you find out what the
audio
topic is for that week?
Yes. So a few days before the next podcast launch for that week, we'll put out the audiogram. And so it gives you a little snippet of the conversation and the topic that is coming for that week.
And it is weekly, correct?
Come again?
It is weekly.
It is weekly. A new episode launches every Thursday.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Can I play
so
this
I
clip?
think that we just dropped this 7th episode. And we really started out why we wanted to start a podcast, what coaching is, how to choose a coach, and then we've gotten into the topics of coaching, limiting belief, abundance versus scarcity, things like that. And they'll just continue to bloom over time.
So typically, what are some of the topics of discussion that you guys like to chat about?
So
and to
if you
humorize.
Topics that we like to talk about. Oh my gosh. So we talk about our own goals and successes and our pathway along, process to meeting those goals and successes. We talk about challenges that come up as business owners. We talk about our own mindsets and how those mindsets have developed over time. We're very good cheerleaders for each other, even though we're doing completely different things, except for this one thing. We're definitely a support system, but also a reality check for each other. And those kind of things bleed out into our podcast. Because really, we're coaches for each other to a degree, so we bring those skill sets. But then when we come together for the podcast, we have different viewpoints on the processes that people go through, which makes the podcast interesting. Sometimes we're like, absolutely, I agree with 100% with what you're saying. And sometimes we're like, yeah, I don't really think about it that way.
And it's good that it's not like, you're just a yay sayer or like, just agreeing with each other, because there are things that you both have big personalities and then you both get a different perspective on things because you guys really don't think alike in a lot of ways, but yet you're still alike in a lot of ways. So it's an interesting dynamic, I would have to say.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, our backgrounds are different, and so the way that we approach coaching is slightly different. And so in some circumstances, we agree because we both, there's some mindset fundamentals, and Margaret Rose would call them the old dead guys, that we both really believe in, which includes, Napoleon Hill and things like that. But then there's some fundamental differences, and we honestly say that to each other. I agree to disagree with you because I see your point of view, I just don't agree with it. and it is amicably, and we cheers and have a beer and call it a day.
Are you guys in a shower?
Yeah, so okay, one day so the way that this ended up being facilitated was that because of the group of coaches that I'm working with to do the television show, I connected with one of those coaches because I've never done a podcast. I don't even know how to do all of that technical stuff. So I connected with one of them and said, anybody that would be able to at least guide us? And so she connected us with Insta podcasts that are out of Tampa, and they said to us, Jessica over at Insta podcast, so we need some pictures to do the audiogram. Like, you're gonna have to do some kind of photo shoot. So I got out a selfie stick. We got out some cocktails, and we just had a really fun afternoon of just pictures. And when I got to her house, she had just taken a shower, and so the glass door of the shower was obviously covered in water. And I was like, oh my God, it's like a fishbowl. We should get in the shower. She was like, this is stupid. And I was like, it's gonna be great.
So I want to play this clip here. Can you kind of give us a segue into this clip?
Yes, absolutely. So she and I sat down and had the conversation, and for many of the dead guys, there's the concept of belief, thought, circumstance, action, and result, right? Those are the things that happen. And so she and I got into this discussion, which comes first, the belief or the thought? And so that became the name of the podcast, because we're sitting there having a debate about, is it the belief that influences your thought, or is it your thought that influences your beliefs? And so that's all I'm going to give on that. I'm not going to tell you what our answer was.
Okay, so I'm going to play it.
Thankful for the ability that I'm able to physically exert myself, because there are plenty of people in the world that wish that they could have that ache and pain.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what you have going on in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you can change your everything by your choice of how you perceive it and how you believe it to be.
Profound words of wisdom while drinking a margarita.
Yes. We created the goldfish cocktail because well, she told me that she had Swedish fish at her house. So we were going to create a cocktail with a Swedish fish in it. By the time I got to her house, the Swedish fish were nowhere to be seen. But we did create a cocktail that looks kind of like it's gold and fancy, and it was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
But I have to say, like, the clinking of jet glasses just doesn't come across on a podcast like opening a beer.
Yeah, so tell me about the feedback from everyone so far who has subscribed and who's been a part of your podcast venture.
We've got a lot of really good feedback. Our downloads are growing. We get words kind of frank, honest, real, authentic, helpful, insightful. We're always encouraging reviews and feedback. We want to know what you guys are thinking. If you like it, if you don't like it, Margaret Rose thinks she laughs too loud, and I think that she's delightful. And so we really are just looking for ideas, or what are you guys going through and how can we help? We get a lot of positive comments on all the funny pictures, and just people seem to be enjoying the podcast. Follow us on Instagram, rate us on podcast platforms. We really are looking to grow a community around it, to see what you guys are thinking, and so that we can respond.
Now, with the goldfish effect, how did you come up with that name?
It is statistically proven now that the average human has less attention span than a goldfish, which is about 8 seconds. And since she and I both have ADD, and we do go off topic, it seemed fitting.
So what are some of the things that we can look forward in future podcasts? Are you guys working those out? Or you guys have any topics that may interest some of our viewers?
Thank you, Chrissy, for asking all of the questions. I appreciate you. You're amazing. Well, it looks like that we'll be including the art of delegation and setting aside time for yourself. We're also working on habits, what's healthy, what's not, how to change them, time management. These are often things that small business owners, heck, people in general, run up against on a daily basis. But also coming close to the end of the year, and us coaches love to talk about goal setting and what is reasonable, smart, measurable, and how to hold yourself accountable to those. We don't believe in New Year's resolutions because you have to change the way that you live to meet a goal or a standard that you set for yourself. We often talk about becoming the person that reaches that goal. So we don't really believe in resolutions. But goals we do. So those will certainly be coming in probably a couple of different ways over the next month or two, getting you ready for what do you want to accomplish in 2021? It's useful to create goals, especially yearly goals, because it's measurable, right? You can measure yourself throughout the year to see if you're on track. So yeah, we'll certainly be doing those. They're fun.
And it should be interesting how people will be goal setting in the year of 2020 during a pandemic, and what that will look like. It may look a little different than in years past, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even the discussions that we've had with all the different business owners over the last 22 episodes about what they've done or the challenges that they've had to face and the changes that they've had to make to their business in such a very short time frame with very little information. It really goes to show what we're capable of as humans, as well about adapting to our environment. So I'm excited to see what 2021 brings, because even though this has been so challenging on a human perspective, it has really proven to us that we can modify what we do, yet still find ways to fulfill our obligations, to connect with other humans in our environment. So I think 2021 is going to be very interesting. Opportunity arises out of challenges, and we've gone through quite a bit this year.
Okay, give us a rundown. How can people listen to your podcast, and what do they need to do to follow you guys and make sure they're tuning in for the podcast episodes that really speak to them?
Okay, so 3 things. So you can follow us on Facebook. We will post the audiogram every single week for the upcoming episode that we'll be dropping that week. You can follow us on Instagram. Please comment, make suggestions, review the show, rate the show, subscribe to the show, give us some feedback. We're new at this, and we just need to hear from you guys as to what we're doing right, what you really like, maybe some changes that we could make. And then you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that you look for your podcasts. We will drop a new episode every Thursday, which corresponds with the time that we record an episode every Thursday. So if you don't see us on the web on Thursday evening, that's because we are speaking into the future of the Golden Effect, and we really just want to keep it light and fun and interesting and useful. So, give us a shout out. If you like the audiogram, then let us know, share it, comment directly on it, both on Instagram and Facebook. And let's know what you're thinking. We're doing this for you guys. I mean, we like to talk, but we want you guys to learn something and to take away something that's useful to your daily life.
I got to ask you, why did you and Margaret Rose feel compelled to have this podcast? What was your why? What was your reasoning behind it?
Our reasoning behind it, primarily, aside from the fact that she and I just have wonderful conversations, is that there's, to a degree, so little knowledge about coaching and about what coaching is and what the difference between coaching and counseling, or coaching and consulting, and what that really, it's not necessarily a new industry, but I think that it's becoming a more well-known industry. And we wanted to be able to shed some light on some of the discussions that we have with our clients on the day-to-day to kind of create more transparency there, and to just give information out. We run into quite a few of the same questions client to client, and if a lot of them, or a large portion of them, are going through these struggles, then a lot of the population is going through the struggles too, and we wanted to be able to just reach out and give that information out and entertain you. We want to entertain because we're funny.
Margaret Rose,
she say it any other way. You can see how big my smile is. We're just funny. So that's why we wanted to do it.
Margaret Rose is commenting. She says, "Yay, goldfish effect."
Yay! She's been in a meeting this morning, so she didn't even know that I was going to be talking about the goldfish effect today. So it just kind of happened. But yay!
Well, we'll definitely have to have Margaret Rose on again for another chat to dive in, pun intended, on what the future of the goldfish effect and what 2021 will look like with the goldfish effect, because we're going around the corner here. It's almost 2021. Can't get there fast enough, right?
I know. And the goldfish effect will just keep going. We'll just, a space for people to come to pick the topics that they like, or just listen to us laugh, and learn a little something every day. Keep bringing content because it's needed. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
And
that's
so
the signal that we get when we've gone completely off topic. One of us will be like, bloop, bloop, bring it on back in.
So if people want to get in touch with you about what topics they want to hear you guys talk about, how do they do that?
Well, they can either comment on either of those two platforms, on our Facebook page or on our Instagram page, or we do also have an email address, the Goldfish Effect with an A @gmail.com. You can email us if you have a question or a personal comment, or want to reach out to either one of us for coaching, or you want a topic that you want to talk about, or you want us to explore for you. Then that's also a good way just to reach out and connect with us.
Awesome.
You have been an awesome interviewer today, Chrissy. You're so amazing.
Well, there's so much to talk about when it comes to what's going on with the podcast, the live stream, and then also there's a lot going on in this world right now. So it's nice to be able to take a break from what's happening in the real world and to be able to put a smile on someone's face.
I completely agree with you. And this should put a smile on your face because, like I said, we're silly. She's good. She's good, clean fun.
Okay, good, clean fun.
Good, clean fun.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. And if you have any more questions, feel free to message in the comment section for this. It will now live as a video. So I'm eager to see what the Goldfish Effect podcast has in the future.
Me too. Thank you so much today, Chrissy. I really appreciate you. And everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.